Yes, people. Welcome back to another live stream on the channel. Another episode, well, not episode, but another show on the Keep Bench Cell edition. Now, this is the Arsenal one. It's going to be interesting to hear some thoughts, but I do have some guests waiting for me in the back room. Got two tonight, so one of them, Ollie. How you doing, Ollie? Big up.
Yeah, big up. Good to be on the obviously news show. I saw the show the other day with JPT. It was good. I'm actually thinking to do. I've been a break on my channel for a bit, but I was thought of doing it myself, and it's good to be here talking about it. Obviously with the guest as well, which I won't mention, but it's good to be on the stream with him. And yeah, looking forward to it.
100% big up to you, Ollie. And I do have man himself, Conor. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm all good. Looking forward to the show today, and thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Big up to Ollie as well. First time meeting you, mate. So
yeah, big up, Conor. Well, I think it would be in the stream before, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe I'm not too sure, but yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's get into it, man. Let's get into the bigger fish and all that crap. But yeah, right. We'll just get started immediately. Obviously, we start from goal. I mean, Ramsdale. Listen, it is obvious. But Ollie, what are you doing with Ramsdale? Are you keeping him, benching him, selling him, maybe?
No, of course we're keeping Ramsdale. He's our number one. He was obviously, I think first season he wasn't our number one because of Leno. And I actually predicted him to be number one. I made a fan page of him because my Odegaard one got hacked, and I thought, I like goalkeepers. I don't mind playing in goal. I'm not the best in goal, but I like playing goalkeeper, and I thought of making a fan page about him. And even when he was number 32, I put him as Aaron Squams for fan page 1, and I knew he would be. Yeah, we can't bench him. He's our number one, and we can't sell him. No way. He's our best goalkeeper. You can't sell your best goalkeeper. I mean, if we bring in a keeper, I'm not sure. It would be nice to bring in a third or second choice keeper, but I'm happy with the goalkeepers we have at the moment. So I wouldn't mind if we don't bring in a goalkeeper in the summer, but of course, Ramsdale's definitely a keep. We have to keep this guy. Great keeper. Obviously, it's a bit similar to some other goalkeepers. It reminds me a bit of De Gea. They're number one, he's good, but then he makes some mistakes as well, and that's what Ramsdale's done. Obviously, the pass in the Southampton game, some mistakes he's played from the back and stuff, and goal kicks and stuff. So, yeah, listen, he's an easily a keep. You can't sell him, you can't bench him because he's our number one. So, yeah, Ramsdale keep for me.
Conor, what about you?
Selling is awful. No, I'm joking. Nah, Keith obviously is our main goalkeeper, and he's been solid. He had a bit of a rough end of the season, but now he's solid, man. He's one of our best players, and probably one of the only leaders on our pitch, in my opinion, like proper leaders. He really has a voice, and yeah, 100% keep. Yeah, that's a straight keep, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised with you guys. For me, yeah, listen, I wasn't expecting you guys to say I'm a bench or so, but yeah, all goalkeepers can have their off days, so
exactly
is what it is. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, let's move on to the greatest American keeper is Matt. Ollie, what are you doing with it?
Yeah, I'll probably bench him if there was a loan option. If there was, obviously it is keep bench sell, but if it was loan, I'd probably say keep. But we need to keep him obviously as our second choice. He's not the best of goalkeepers. He's our second choice, but he is not a bad goalkeeper. Obviously, he's America's number one, and he was number one for his old team. I think it was New England Revolution, whatever they're called. And he was number one there, and we bought him in. I think we bought him in January, but he joined in we bought him in the summer, and he joined in January. But yeah, listen, we need to keep him, but I wouldn't sell him, or I wouldn't. So it's a bench for me. I think that's all the goalkeepers. We only really have two. I mean, the other ones we have is Carl Hean. I think he's gone now, or he's on loan somewhere. Matt Macy went to, I think it was Plymouth or Celtic or something like that, or Hibernian, I think he went to, or something like that. I think Arthur Kwonku as well. I don't know what. I think he went on loan somewhere. So we haven't really got that many goalkeepers. So, as I said, I wouldn't mind bringing in a third choice just in case, because Carl Hean is absolutely awful. I think he cost us that game where we went out early in the League Cup. But yeah, moving off topic there with Carl Hean, but for me, Matt Turner's a bench. I'll definitely keep him, but I wouldn't sell him. So he's a bench for me. Keep him definitely, but bench him because but obviously next season he will get his chance in the Champions League. It'll be, time to prove himself in that. I don't think we're going to win that, but it'll be nice to at least be in it. Obviously you haven't been in it for 6 months, so 6 years. So yeah, I mean, it'll be good to be in the Champions League. But we're not going to do anything in it. So the only really thing is taking part in. That's the only thing we're really thinking about. We could make it to knockout, which would be really good, depending on who we get in the group stage. But yeah, Matt Turner's a keep. He's our number 2. But no, sorry, he's a bench. He's on number 2, but we need to keep him. But he doesn't start, so he's not a keep. He's a bench. But yeah, I talked too much about it. But Matt Turner's a bench, number 2 goalkeeper. USA is number 1, and he'll get time the FA Cup, Champions League, and the League Cup or Carabao Cup next season. So Carabao Cup, for me, we need to try and get further than we did, and then FA Cup as well. Obviously, we're unlucky with the FA Cup this year because we had Man City and we lost only 1-0, which was positive from the game. Could have been 4 or 5 or whatever, but I really wanted to see Matt Turner to prove himself next season in the cup games and hope we go far in some of them, because I don't want to go out early like we did last year. The only decent one was Europa League, and we went out on penalties, and that was just unlucky. It wasn't Matt Turner's fault because he wasn't playing, but yeah, Matt Turner had a few games last season. He hasn't really proved himself. He might luckily start in maybe play him in like a Luton game or something. I do want to see him in one game in the Premier League, maybe. But yeah, bench for me.
Yeah, Conor, what about you? Turner?
Yeah, no, bench. I mean, I'm happy to keep him. That's for sure. I mean, goalkeeper is nowhere near our priority this summer.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But no, he's. Do you know what? He hasn't put a foot wrong really in the games he's played. Whenever I see him on the pitch, I'm not too worried. We'll probably see a lot more of him in pre-season because obviously we're going to America, and knowing that it will start every single game. But he's fine. I wouldn't mind seeing more of him next season. You see Pep likes to rotate between Edison and Ortega now and then. I know Matt Turner ain't really on the level, I'd say, Ortega. But then again, Ortega wasn't really that highly rated when he came to Man City. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of rotation. Not saying I want Ramsdale bench because he is our best goalie, but wouldn't mind seeing a bit more rotation, just the cup games maybe. But he's solid. I mean, he's been solid in the games he's played. I wouldn't actually start him, but yeah, no, I agree with Ollie. I'd bench him. But yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, like you said, Arsenal will be going to pre-season, and same with United. And listen, we've got us 2 in the USA tour, so
yeah, of course, yeah. We'll sing a lot of Matt Turner, that's for sure. He'll be playing all them games.
Yeah, he'll probably, because he's in America.
I don't even know he's going to start for United as goalkeeper, but you could see the hair.
I've just seen you got rid of Butland, didn't you? I was about to say maybe Butland will, but he's gone. He's off
Arrest is happy with that because he doesn't like him.
It's not I don't like him, but Butland flipping out like what we do with Butland, man.
You got some pretty crappy secondaries, don't you? Because you got Tom Heaton as well.
That's a good signing for him, though. Rangers are a decent team.
Yeah,
he'll probably be their number 1 as well.
Yeah,
he'll get game time there. So
their fella over there, he's about nearly 40 years old. They're starting goalkeeper. So
yeah. So he'll definitely.
You could see a new signing, Diego Costa on the United. Listen,
you need to go. What about David Raya? I think David Raya is pretty solid.
He's gone to Tottenham now. I think it's Romano.
It's true.
Romano said today that Tottenham they're closing deals. I mean, David Raya for me, I'm not his biggest fan, but yeah.
Costa's your main target, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So Turner, we'll probably see him most in the preseason. So yeah, bench. Right, let's move on to that scorekeeper's done. Cool. Ben White, Ollie, what are you doing with him?
Yeah, he's a keep for me. Obviously, the past season gone, or this season, or I don't know what to say. Last season, he's been a right back. He's obviously supposed to be a centre back, but obviously moved to a right back. I think mainly because we struggled with the right back. We've obviously got Tomiyasu, but he's been injured a lot, and Cedric's gone over to Fulham on loan. So I don't know. I think we should. I don't know if he's in here, but he's a sell. Get rid of him. But yeah, Ben White's been right back, and he's been doing well as right back. Supposed to be centre back. I think he's played right back before, maybe for Brighton or something. So it's not as if he's never played there before. But it is good that he can. I think we've played him in centre back a few times as well when we've played like Partey at right. We played like a weird game where we played like Xhaka left back, Partey right back and then like Kiwi or Ben White or something. It was that was a weird game. I forgot what game it was that. But yeah, Ben White is a must keep for us. He's not a bench because you can't bench him. He's our starting right back, and he's not a sell. I can't sell him. I mean, if we were to sell him, we'd have to bring in a right back. Obviously, I think we're linked with Castagne, so he could be a possibility if Ben White does go. But I don't think Ben White will go. He's a must keep, and I think Marteta will keep him. So yeah, for me to keep, I think he's a good player. We'd have to get rid of him for a lot of money because he's definitely one of our best players, probably over 50 million. I mean, he's worth that much, but we must keep this guy, and I think Arteta and Edu will keep him. He won't go anywhere. I think I don't know whether he needs to sign a contract or anything, but he's definitely staying. He's a keep. Being our right back, being our best right back, we do need him. We can't get rid of our right backs. We haven't got many right backs. As I said, Tomiyasu's been injured, and we don't really have anyone else who can play right back. Really, we have none of our centre backs can play right back. We have a few left backs. I mean, Partey's played left right back, but he's more of a. We need him now that Xhaka's gone at CDM. But yeah, keep for me, good right back for us, and he needs to stay.
Yeah, 100%. Conor, about you, Ben White?
Yeah, no, keep him 100%. He was probably one of our best defenders on the level of Saliba this season just gone. Never play him at centre back. He is awful at centre back, and that's fact, in my opinion. But yeah, no, right back, he's absolutely solid. I keep him there happily. I mean, don't get me wrong, I always like seeing possible upgrades if it's possible. But when we're linked with someone like Castagne, I think that solidifies Ben White starting, which I have no problem with because I think he's solid. And he's great with going forward, and he can track back as well. Unlike Zinchenko, in my opinion, can't track back. But no, happily keep him. But I'd happily upgrade him if it was possible. Like I said, Cancelo. I'd love Cancelo to come in if he was going to play at right back or left back. That's what you got to do with teams now. Like you look at Man City, they've always been upgrading in different positions. But no, happily keep Ben White and happily keep him starting for next season.
Hanno in the comments saying Ben White sell. Just get out here, man. He's not a sell.
Ollie's joking. I do think with Ben White, I think you guys need a competition. I don't think the play that you're linked with today. I don't think it's good.
The problem is with Ben White, and I feel like he doesn't get enough praise, is that it's the fact that there's a lot of England right backs that are on top of him, like James and Trippier. So I think he doesn't get enough recognition, in my opinion. But last season he was quality. Like you never heard Arsenal fans really talking about him because he was solid. There was never any really negative things to say about him. He had such a solid season. He was getting a couple of goals now and then, getting a few assists. He's not a bad player at all. But I think the fact that some England right backs do shine him out a bit. But yeah, no, he's solid. He's absolutely solid.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think both of you have agreed with each other. Ben White. Let's move on. This one's interesting. To Kieran Tierney. Ollie, what would you do with him?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm interested to see what Conor will say. I wouldn't bench him because he is one of our best left backs, and I do want to start. Obviously, you can possibly argue bench because Zinchenko's been playing left back, but I think Zinchenko either he can play upfield, like maybe he can move up to midfield now that Xhaka's gone. Or bench him. But for me, it's between keep or sell, and it's really hard to decide because if we were to sell him, he's linked to the likes of obviously Man City, Newcastle, which would be a good move for both sides. Obviously, Man City getting rid of Cancelo, they do need a left back, and same with Newcastle, they probably need a left back because I think they've got like Matt Target, and Tierney would definitely be an upgrade from him. I don't know. I want to say keep because we need left backs. We've only got Zinchenko and Tierney, and if I don't see us bringing in a left back, and obviously we've been linked with Cancelo, that's a big possibility. And if we were to get Cancelo, I'd definitely say Tierney sell, but it's not confirmed yet. So if it was confirmed soon, then I would change my mind to sell. But I think if we do sell him, he needs to go for a lot of money, and I mean a lot, like maybe 100 million, 50, 60. I mean nothing under 50 million because I'd be really annoyed then. But for me, I think Conor would probably say sell or maybe keep, but I'd keep Tierney. Good. We need left backs, and but it's really hard. I've got like 20% of me saying sell because he's linked and he hasn't really got much time as left back. Got much game time at left back this season. He's probably like to, and obviously in the past seasons he's been our number one, and since Zinchenko's come in, he hasn't. But for me, I want to keep him. I think he's an Arsenal legend. He's done really well for us. He's been in the club for a few years, and maybe next season he could be a sell if he doesn't start again. And Zinchenko starts, so we bring in another one. But for me, it's tough. But I'm going to say keep.
All right. Conor, what about you with Kieran Tierney?
Yeah, no, sadly for me, it's going to be a sell just on the basis of the fella ain't getting game time anymore. As much as I want him to. If I had my way, I'd keep him, obviously. He's, in my opinion, one of the most underrated fullbacks in the league. That is just down to he hasn't had enough game time. But yeah, it's not. He needs game time. He's a young footballer. He's got so much talent, and I can't see him wanting to waste that on the bench. And we can clearly see that unless Arteta wants to give Zinchenko a midfielder role, which he really should be doing, I don't see Tierney getting any game time anytime soon, and he won't want to be on the bench. With all the rumours linking him to either Villa or Newcastle, it's a sell for me. And listen, while his value's high, get the money from him. You know, you might as well, and at least try upgrade if you can, because as much as I want to keep him, and I do want to keep him, it's just logistically he's gonna be sold, isn't he? Just because of the fact that now Arteta's sort of moved on to Zinchenko now, which is a bit of a shame, because Zinchenko isn't a left back in my opinion; he's a midfielder.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Players have to leave at the end of the day. Sometimes it don't work out, and it's very clear that, which I think is very. It's one thing I don't like about Arteta is when his ego goes a bit big, and I think he's sort of moved on to Zinchenko because he's his Man City boy, you know. And it's such a shame, man, because Tierney is such a talent, and I know for a fact that he was pretty annoyed to be on the bench for pretty much all of last season. Like, I mean, there was even games where Zinchenko was injured. He was playing Tomiyasu at left back, and Tierney was on the bench. It's just such disrespect, man. Like, he is the most. I believe he is one of the club with the most trophies won in his career so far. I know it's the Scottish League and all that, but he's still won the most trophies. But no, for me, it's a sell just to make money on him because we know he's not going to play, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But in an ideal world, I want him to stay, but it's going to be a sell for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna agree. It's a sell for me. Sorry, I'm not gonna agree on obviously with everything, but what you said. I think obviously a lot of clubs are interested in him. He hasn't got enough game time. As you said there, another one that's convinced me to change my mind is that when Zinchenko's been injured, he's been playing Tomiyasu at left back and Tomiyasu's a right back. And yeah, he's linked. I think if we get rid of him, we need a lot of money for him. And then we definitely need to bring in a left back. I'll be really annoyed if we go through the summer and don't bring in a left back and we get rid of Tierney. So for me, Cancelo, I'd like to bring him in. He'll definitely start over Zinchenko, and then maybe we bench Zinchenko and play him up midfield. But yeah, I think either get rid of him for Cancelo or keep him and then start him. But there's two options. So if we keep him, then he has to start, and if he sells, then we have to bring in someone. So I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to do it much, but I'm going to say sell as well. And I think I'm not really going to say sell for many people, so I'll say sell for Tierney. He can go, and I mean, as much I think Conor said as well. Much I want him to stay, I think he'll go.
Yeah, 100%. For me with Tierney, like, I think he's a quality player, but I just think Arteta, the way he started Zinchenko way too many times. I can see that affecting Tierney and obviously him leaving the summer. So yeah, well, surprised me if he does leave and maybe join Newcastle. So yeah. Next mate is Gabriel. Oh my gosh, Ollie, what are you doing, Gabriel?
Yeah, Gabriel. I hope Conor agrees with me. He's a keep. We've only got really three centre backs. We got obviously you're going to talk about them. We got Gabriel Saliba and Holding, which Kiwior as well. So we got four centre backs.
4 world class centre backs, Ollie.
Yeah, but for me, Gabriel is one of the centre backs we need to keep. Because he's one of our best centre backs. Probably the second best, and you know who the first is.
Yeah, bro
But
Holding. Yeah, we all know that Ollie. Yeah, so.
yeah. But he's a must keep. I think I don't see him leaving. He probably wants to stay, and Arteta wants to keep him. He's our starting. I wouldn't bench him as well because he's been starting, and he's one of our best centre backs. So for me, keep him. Maybe if I say sell for another centre back, bring in another one because we've struggled with centre backs, especially this season. Obviously, we've had a few injuries and we've had to bring in Kiwior and Holding and stuff. So we do need to bring in another centre back and then maybe sell one because we need to you need to bring in one just in case. And if we sell one, then we have to bring it. So I think if we sell a position, we have to bring in someone. So. But for me, Gabriel is a must keep. Keep him. Hopefully, he does well next season. He'll definitely keep his place, and he won't be benched. He won't be sold. So for me, it's a keep for Gabriel.
100%. There's no Ryan for Ryan's comments. Horace, big up there. Obviously, good stream. So now home so I can't tune in live. I'm back in the next one. Never please. Yeah, be up to you, man. Be up to you, Ryan. Yeah, do smash the like and subscribe for you. Yeah, Conor, obviously, Gabriel, you're keeping him, right?
Nah, I'm getting rid of him. What are you gonna... Nah, of course I'm keeping him. Mate, I'm telling you right now, one of the most underrated centre-backs in the league. I can't lie. The first season he came, I think we had David Luiz. I'm not going to lie, I was a bit sceptical. I was like, there's going to be another French league centre-back who can't do it. But, mate, this season, he is just grown 100%. And that partnership between him and Saliba, by the way, Saliba's a keep, by the way, because you don't even have to ask me that. He's a keep, 100%.
Yeah, I need to remove it. Yeah,
sorry to be a bit forward, but I think we all know he's a keep because he's obviously just signed a new deal. And, of course, Gabriel signed a contract extension as well, so he's obviously staying. But no, he's fantastic, man. And the partnership between Gabriel and Saliba is just unfathomable. You see the stats when Saliba's at the team, how the defense is, and it's not just on Saliba not being there. It's the fact that Gabriel doesn't have him there as a partnership because they just work together so well. They've got a great partnership, and can it be upgraded on? Yeah, any defense can be upgraded on if you look at it. But I'm really happy with these two. They're just so solid, and we just need a season where they can go fully fit throughout it, but we do need upgrades behind them. We need a bit of depth behind them, just in case. Because you do look at the situation when Saliba did go out, Rob Holding's crap. He's not it. He's Bolton level in my opinion. But no, keep 100% Gabriel. Honestly, class player. And I'm telling you, I want him to. I think if he really, if him and Saliba stay fit next season, I think we've got a solid defense, mate. And maybe if we bring Cancelo. But yeah, keep 100% for Gabriel. Keep.
Yeah, Gabriel's been very good this season. It's about partnership. We know which club has the better partnership, mate. Gabriel, listen, I think he's been very, very quality, man. Obviously, all us fans talking about Saliba, this and that, but Gabriel, man, listen, he's under the radar. So let's see. Obviously, yes, as I said, it can be improved, but those two as a partnership, yeah, it's looking good, man. But as you said, they can be improved. But yeah, because Gabriel for me, keep.
Yeah,
there's an obvious one. Yeah, we're not doing Saliba. Let's do Kiwior, man. For me, before these talks, this is a weird signing, man. For those that don't know, his girlfriend is a stripper. So
is it? I never knew that.
She's number one German for twerking. So something like that. But listen, listen. All the Arsenal players. Listen, don't be surprised if there's a. I don't know if Arsenal players have done something. I don't know, man. But I know. Listen. Talk about doing something. But half your squad are flipping. I don't know what Arteta's doing, but half your squad are almost married. So whatever Arteta's cooking in that squad, mate. Oh boy, but Ollie, Jakub Kiwior, what are you doing with him?
For me, he's benched. We've obviously got. If we don't talk about Saliba, he's a keep, obviously. We've obviously got Gabriel and Saliba. Then we've got Holding, who doesn't play, and Kiwior, another centre back who doesn't play. So for me, I wouldn't sell him because we need depth. And he's done well for Poland, playing in the World Cup, and being one of their centre backs that's played. And it is, as I said, it is a weird signing. No one really knows about him. Don't even know his previous club he played for. Might have been a Polish team. And yeah, I don't know how he found him, or maybe Edu somehow found him, watched him in the World Cup or something. But it is a weird signing. But for me, I wouldn't sell him. I don't think any club would probably want him, to be honest, whether he goes to a Polish team and they want him, or whether another Premier League team or European team. But I don't see him going. And I'm not obviously going to keep. I'm not going to put him in the keep category because he's not going to start. And so Conor might agree with me. Bench for me. He's not going to start, so he's not a keep. He's not going to be sold, so he's not a sell. So for me, bench him. We need to keep him, even though he's a weird signing, even though maybe give him another season and he can prove himself in the cup games. So he'll definitely bench him, but when he starts, he'll put as like Matt Turner, I said, he's starting the FA Cup, the League Cup.
Yeah, Ollie, do you want to read that? Right, so I'm not going to pronounce the second name, but Claudia, girlfriend of, obviously, I just found this when they brought him up. Girlfriend of new Arsenal signing Yakubu and the so-called Queen of Twerking sent a message to Gunnar. Gonna check her. Apparently, she won. I think it was an award in 2017. But yeah, listen, Ollie, you can carry on. But yeah, I can't believe both of you guys didn't know that. But yeah, because I saw Arsenal fans on Twitter that were saying, "Oh, look at Kivio's wife and stuff." But Ollie, you can carry on with whatever you were talking about.
Yeah. So as I said, I think I was talking about whether he's not going to start, but he'll start in the cup games. He'll start in FA Cup, which I really hope we do try and win, go far in that. Obviously, round 4 we got out, which was disappointing, but it was against Man City, and they went on to win the whole thing. So we lost to the champions of the FA Cup. Yeah, League Cup as well. He'll probably start in that with Holding if he's there, or a new centre back that's there for depth. Yeah, he'll start in that. Obviously, we don't want to be out early like we did against Brighton. Obviously, we did play a good team apart from Carl here, and I think they maybe played a crap centre back or whatever. But we need to do well on that and then try our best in the Champions League. I would still start him in the Champions League. I'd start a weak squad and play a few strong players, and then I think as we progress, we'll play a stronger team in the Champions League. So knockout stages, we'll probably stay with a weaker team. Then if we get to the quarters, semis, and final, we'll start getting Ramsdale in and Saliba and Jesus and stuff like that. But obviously in the group stages, we'll probably play like Nketiah, Matt Turner, Kiwior, etc. But yeah, Kiwior is a bench for me. Said sell. He's not. No club is going to want him, and I don't see him going. And the keep category is a player who's going to start, and I don't see him starting. So for me, bench Kiwior.
Yeah, Conor, what about you with Kiwior? Oh, you're me.
So he came in while Saliba was out, obviously coming for Rob Holding, because obviously Rob Holding wasn't really doing it. So he fled to the fella. I think he sort of exceeded our expectations a bit. I think didn't do too bad. He was pretty solid. The only mistake he really made was when he was trying to tie up his shoelace for that corner. I forgot which game it was. But yeah, no, listen, there's nothing wrong with him from what I've seen anyway. No, there's no reason to say he's got to go straight away. Yeah, I'm happily keep him on the bench, but we do need a better third string just to have that because much as Kiwior has shown a bit of talent, I don't trust him to fulfill for Gabriel or Saliba. But no, I'll keep him on the bench.
I just found her Instagram. She is the queen of twerking.
Christ.
Yeah,
listen, oh my god.
Eddie, listen, you never know what Eddie did through that negotiations, but listen.
Maybe he found her Instagram and then found out that Kiwior's his girl.
Mate, honestly, for me, I listen, like this signing came direct from Romano, like not over Arsenal page, but direct from Romano. I was like, obviously, I was next to an Arsenal fan. I was like, to me, what on earth is this signing? Because that's random, but listen, we'll see how it pans out, man. Maybe because I think he's definitely going to start a lot of preseason games as well with Kiwior. So we'll see how he does. really. We'll see how he does. I think it's a bit too early to judge, but let's see, man. Let's see how he does. Next one. I'm expecting both of you guys to say keep, but hold it. Ollie, Holding, are you going to keep him? Ollie, remember he's got that hair transplant. Come on.
Yeah, for me, he's probably the only centre back that I'd sell. You think you were joking about me keeping him? There's no way I'm keeping him. Benching him, you could possibly say that where depth, but I think if we sell him and get him money for him, because obviously I think we've got like a 200 million budget or whatever, and if we sell players, we'll have more. But obviously, if we bring in players, that will be less. So sell some, and then it will give us some more money. But yeah, keep what the hell? Sell. Get rid of him some money. Not sure who's linked with him. But
I think Newcastle.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe Newcastle, but he'll probably go to a Premier League club. I don't see him going to a foreign team. He's obviously been in the English league for a while. He's played for Arsenal, Bolton. So he'll leave in the summer, I think. And he's a sell for me. As said, I think obviously we talked about Gabriel, he's a keep. We talked about Kibo as a bench, and then obviously Saliba, who we're probably not talking about, is a keep because it's pretty obvious he's a keep. So, but yeah, keep sell Holding, get some money for him, bring in another centre back. I'm not really sure who to bring in, who we're linked with. Maybe someone. Maybe nick someone from Man City like Ake or something, or bring in someone who's on going to leave somewhere. But I don't know who we'll bring in. But we need to get rid of him. And if we bring in someone, it won't be a starting centre back. It could be another depth. But for me, Holding, he's been at Arsenal for a while now, and I think he's not going to get any game time. He's not going to want to be on the bench, and he's not going to start in as. Yeah, he's the worst defender we have, concluding fullbacks, and I think Conor said that as well. He isn't that good, and yeah, for me, he's a sell, and my second sell, and I'm not going to say sell a lot, but I'm going to say sell for this guy. He's got to go. Doesn't get game time, isn't the best depth. So for me, Rob Holding is a sell.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. Streamer just buffered me. Conor, Rob Holding, are you going to keep him?
No way, he's gone, mate. He is out the door. Getting back to Bolton. Sorry, mate. Nice guy, but no, you're not the level of Arsenal, unfortunately. He's got to go, man. Let bygones be bygones now. I think him and it should be all the Wenger regime are going to be out this summer because Xhaka's leaving. I think El Nenny's leaving, or he's retiring. And we need to get Rob Holding out. That's all the Wenger regime gone.
I don't think Xhaka's going to retire. He might go somewhere else.
Xhaka's going to Leverkusen.
Yeah.
El Nenny's retiring, and then Rob Holding needs to go. So even if it's on a free, just get him gone, man, because I don't think he's even worth much. So
I would get him for money. 20 million, maybe.
Yeah. 20 mil for Rob Holding. God,
Ollie,
no.
what are you smoking?
God, no.
10.
Please 10. Tell me, Ollie. Tell me
10.
the beers that you've been drinking, Ollie.
Well, I'm not getting rid of him for free.
Maybe 3.5 to 5 mil. He's not worth.
Yeah.
He's definitely not worth a lot. But no, sell him. Definitely, he's not worth it. And you're all right against Costa in the FA Cup final in 2017. But apart from that, nah. And cheers for the goal against City, even though it meant nothing. But so 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Holding needs to be sold. If he doesn't, then Eddie is smoking. But Holding, yeah, I think it's time to go, mate. But yeah, next one is Takahiro Tomiyasu. Ollie, what are you doing with him?
Ooh, this is a tough one. He's obviously really injury prone. So it's tough. I think it's between all of it, really, and I'll give my reasons for each one. Keep squad depth for the right back. Obviously Ben White's our right back. He's depth for him. He can, and I mean, even Arteta's played him at left back, so we can play him at left back as well. He's good. Yeah, he's good depth for Ben White, and when he's not injured, he can maybe give him competition. He'll definitely start in cup games if he's fit. And then obviously he'll be benched because of Ben White, and if we bring in another right back, he'll probably be our third choice and still be on the bench. And then sell, the reason I'd sell him is because we might bring in another right back and he's not get the time to start. It's going to be tough, and I really don't know. I wouldn't bench him. I'd probably sell him. We don't really need him. He's injury prone, and Conor might be different to me, and I might change my mind again from Conor. But I think we'll sell him and then get in a right back. Obviously, I'm happy with Ben White, and I'm not really happy with Tomiyasu. I mean, you could argue bench, so I'm not really decided on this one, but it's either bench or sell for me. So I'll go bench / sell, probably sell, but it's a tough one for me, and I want to keep him. He's going to be benched or he's going to go. So I'll see what Conor says, but I'm kind of undecided a bit, so maybe sell.
Yeah. Conor, what about you with Tomiyasu?
Yeah, I'm not. This guy's improving it to me, and I'm not having another one of these like Cedric incidences where we just sort of hold on to him. So for me, it's sell. We need money this summer, and it's going to be a summer of which we normally do, which is going to be we're going to sell to buy, and in my opinion, we've got to get rid of the dross. In my opinion, and if we're bringing in Castagne, I know he's been a part of a relegated Leicester side. He was not really good last season, but would I take him over Tomiyasu? Probably. And like Ollie said, yeah, he's injury prone, man, and if you think about it, he was out for most of this season. He was in and out of most of the season, sorry. And you're pretty much down a man, for the season. And it's looking like that's going to be the norm. He's probably going to stay if I'm going to be realistic. But in my opinion, I would sell him. Just get a bit of money for him, maybe 15 million, and use it for someone else. Maybe put it towards someone like a Cancelo, So upgrading this team, don't keep the dross. And in my opinion, Tomiyasu unfortunately hasn't really proven it to me. The season when we did play him pretty much all the games when Ben White was at centre back, he just didn't really prove it to me. He had a couple good games when he was getting forward, but as soon as you start seeing a player getting injury prone, you sort of just die down now. Like when I think, like to relate to you, Royce, when I look at injury prone, you look at someone like Martial. All these injuries have just made him go down a slope. So that's what I think Tomiyasu is going to become. So yeah, sell for me. Sell.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Tomiyasu is, I don't know what his body is, man, now, but he's blinding, man.
But as Conor said, we're probably going to keep him, to be honest, and that's probably what Arteta's going to do. But we're both saying sell because we want him to go, and we'll get him for money, I think.
Zinchenko, there's no point, I think, both, man.
No, just say that. We both say keep. Do you say keep?
Yeah, keep Zinchenko.
Yeah, keep. No, we're getting into this one. So, Partey. Ollie, your Partey.
Yeah, for me, with Xhaka gone, we have to keep Partey. He's not a bench because there's no way he's going to get benched. And he's not a sell. There's no way we're selling this guy. So, for me, we're going to have to keep Partey. He's been great for us the last season that's just gone. He's a great player. Great at midfield, can play CDM. Maybe he can move around a bit. Right, he's played right back, which he won't play again. Hopefully, Arteta, please do not do that again. But he's great, and I think with Xhaka leaving, it's a must to bring in a player. Probably most likely to be Rice, and Rice will definitely start. So that would be good to bring in Rice. Rice and Partey would be a great partnership, and hopefully that can help us go on possibly win the league. I think if we make at least 3 signings, we can go on and do it. And for me, I'm saying this now: Arteta out if we don't win the league. I'm saying it for the first.
Yeah, well, Ollie Gunner, yeah, Ollie Gunner.
Yeah, Ollie Gunner. But no, I don't know. If we finish second again with a trophy, I won't be Arteta right. But if we finish no trophies and second again, I'm not having this manager. We can't finish second with no trophies again. So. If we win a trophy, I'll be happy. If we don't win any trophies and finish second, then I'll be unhappy. But But for me, Partey, moving on topic, sorry. Partey is a keep for me. We have to keep this guy after Xhaka gone. And as I said, bring in Rice or Caicedo, probably most likely Rice, even though it's probably half our transfer budget, we'll bring him in. And for me, he isn't really. I watched him in the Conference League final. He didn't really impress me. He didn't really do anything, but I think he's been all right for West Ham in other games, and he'll definitely be good for us. So for me, keep him. We need to keep him. We can't sell him. We can't. He'll probably be linked a lot because if he's a good player, but he won't be benched, of course, because we need him in midfield, and he won't be gone. So for me, Partey is a keep, and I'm sure Conor's going to agree with me. Every Arsenal fan will agree with me. Partey is a keep. We have to keep this guy. One of our best midfielders, well, probably not the best, but definitely one of our best CDM after Xhaka. We have to keep this guy after Xhaka's gone. So for me, Thomas Partey is a keep.
Yeah, 100%. We've got a comment here from Arsenal have started talks with Leicester fullback Timothy Castagne. It's a no for me. I've seen it.
I saw a video where it showed him missing a goal, and it was hilarious.
The thing with Castagne, I don't think he's a bad player, but is he improvement on Tomiyasu? Probably, but
no.
I don't even know, man. Castagne. Where Conor with Partey.
I mean, he's been linked with clubs in Italy. I think it's to do with the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. But honestly, can I be real? I watch football for football. All that stuff behind the scene. If that's not going on, then honestly, it's not anything to do with me. So, I keep Partey 100%, especially with this Champions League season coming up. We need as much depth in the midfield as possible, and if we do get the likes of like Caicedo and a Rice with a Partey, I think that's fantastic in terms of backups in midfield. I think our midfield will be sorted in that department. He's solid. Maybe look to sell him maybe next season. We'll see how he does this season. But this season he was a bit iffy for me, a bit in and out. But still, definitely one of our most composed midfielders. That's how I like to comment on Partey. He's very composed on the ball. He doesn't get reckless. He's always composed on the ball. So I'll keep him definitely, especially if we're selling Xhaka as well. Keep him.
Yeah, 100%. Saka, I think there's no point.
Yeah, of course, agree.
Really, there's no point. Odegaard, I think both of you would say keep.
Just sign a new deal.
Keep. Yeah, my boy, of course.
Right. Smith Rowe, interesting one now. Ollie, what do you do with Smith Rowe?
It's a tough one. I don't know if he signed a contract yet, but I think he might. I really don't know. I think it probably bench. I don't want to get rid of this guy, of course. He's, he loves Arsenal. He's a homegrown player from the Hale End. And he's not going to start because of Odegaard, and obviously he's not going to play in CDM with Partey, or if Rice comes in, Xhaka's obviously gone, so Rice will hopefully come. And he doesn't play any other position in midfield, so I'd probably bench him, and Conor might agree, I don't know, but I'll definitely bench him because I don't want to keeping. Obviously, as I said, is starting, and he's not going to start. And sell, I do not see us selling this guy. He's an Arsenal player. He loves Arsenal, and he loves the clubs, and so I think he's a bench for me. He's got competition with Odegaard. Obviously, he'll definitely start in Champions League and the cup games. As I said, with other players, if they're not starting, they'll definitely play in the cup games. For me, I would keep. Bench Smith Rowe.
Yeah, cool. Conor, what do you do with Smith Rowe?
Yeah, this guy's got talent, man. I'm telling you, he's got talent. And again, another situation where I'm surprised he wants to stay, because Arteta's just been a right dick, if I'm going to be honest. He's been such a little... he's just completely ridiculed him from the team. He had an injury mid-season, sort of start of the season. And when we've needed attacking mid to come on for Odegaard, he's brought on Jorginho. You look at the Liverpool game. We've got to remember he is a winger and attacking mid. He's useful, and he can put in good performances. And in my opinion, he's one of my favourite players from Hale that's come out of Hale End in recent years. So, 100%. I keep him. I would put him on the bench because I don't think he gets over Odegaard, but he's got talent. He has got talent, I'm telling you, and it would be a waste of potential if we sold him to another Premier League team. And I'm glad that he looks like he wants to stay, but Arteta's got to use him more. He's got to get rid of this arrogance, man, and just sort of sideline players like they don't exist. Like fella's been on the bench all season, hasn't had a sniff. He's got to give him some more game time, and not just in the cup games, maybe in a couple Champions League group stage games, depending on the side, obviously. But 100% keep. I love Smith Rowe. Such a good guy. Number 10 shirt, maybe another debate for another day. Probably wouldn't have given him that. But listen, is what it is. But no, yeah, keep him. But I would put him on the bench.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, thing is, Smith Rowe, like, I'm so surprised that he still wants to, stay at Arsenal because
I'm surprised
he's been treated by Arteta, man. Come on, man. Listen, Arteta for me, I think if he keeps doing this, not only to Smith Rowe but to other players, they're gonna lose trust in him, and then some
100%.
players will want to be out of the door. And that's not what you want as a manager for me. Like,
the more people are going to want to leave, Oris. Like it happened with Aubameyang, it's going to happen with Tierney, and now it could happen with someone like Smith Rowe. It seems to be a new player every season, so it could be a new player next season. It could be Saka for all we know. As soon as because that's why I'm saying to myself, like, people want a striker to come in. I want a striker to come in this summer because obviously Jesus is a fantastic player, but doesn't get as many goals as we want him to. I know he was injured for some of the season, but I do want a goal-scoring striker that can score maybe 20-plus goals a season. But I think because he's a Man City boy, he's not going to want to drop him, And Arteta's got this, and this is I like what Arteta's doing with this team, especially the season just gone. We've had good football. He had bottled the league, obviously, so we're not going to forget that. But he's got this little arrogance. You just want to grab him and just shake it out of him, So hopefully he learns from it. But I hope Smith Rowe is not another Tierney situation because he's a talent, not starting, but maybe he could be if he was given the chance. But got to give that guy some game time, man. 100%.
yeah, 100%, man, 100%.
What did you say? Did you say bench?
Yeah, I went for bench.
Yeah, bench, really. Yeah, bench. Bench. I'm just gonna go through the comments now. This summer transfer window shouldn't be a window of compromise. It should be one of yeah. Hello, Rocco. Good.
Hello, Rocco.
Yeah. Let's go to the next player, Jorginho. Ollie, what are you gonna do with him?
Yeah, another tough one. Because some of them are easily to say sell, bench, or keep, but this is a tough one. For me, he hasn't really got enough game time to keep. So I would sell him. I think he's not going to fit in with Partey because Rice will come in or someone else will come in because we definitely need to bring it in. I'll be super annoyed if we don't bring anyone for him for replacement with Xhaka. I don't really see him playing on the bench as well, so I'm not going to bench him. So I think Conor will agree with me, and any Arsenal fan, he's got to go. And I think it was a weird signing. Same with Kiwior. It was a weird signing. Chelsea reject. Not really. I'm not sorry, not a Chelsea reject. He was their captain, but another Chelsea player that we don't really need, like David Luiz. We got him and not a good signing. So and Willian as well. We signed Chelsea players and they seem to flop. The only time I've really been impressed with Jorginho was Aston Villa where he shot it counted more of an own goal where he did that wonder goal and it came off the post and I think it hit Martinez's head or something. So yeah, for me, he's a sell. He has to go, and I said I can't see him keeping him or benching him. So for me, yes, sell Jorginho.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Rocco, big up to you. Conor, what you know with Jorginho?
I'm going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works, and I'm actually going to keep him. I think if we do bring in both Caicedo and Rice, that leaves in the midfield. That leaves our midfield of Rice, Caicedo, Partey, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Jorginho. We'll get onto Vieira later. But I'm going to be honest. In my opinion, Jorginho, did have that moment in the Aston Villa game. I think he shows his heart when he wants to play. I'm not going to lie, haven't really seen a bad moment from him. With Willian, it was a thing of where, in my opinion, you just saw it from every game. The fella was not on it. He was not what he was at Chelsea. But with Jorginho, European winner with with both Champions League and obviously with his country, with the Euros, has experience. In my opinion, I'd personally keep him in terms of leadership because, we don't have enough leadership in this side. We don't. And it's factual.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that let us down come end of season. We didn't have those leaders to really push us on, in my opinion. I think we had a couple false leaders, in my opinion. And in my opinion, Jorginho adds that aspect. Will I start him every game? No, but I like him. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about him. I know, obviously, Ollie doesn't agree, and that's absolutely fine. We will have our disagreements. But for me, I don't know what it is about him. I just like him. And
you're a keep? You said keep.
Yeah, but I keep him, but I bench him. Wouldn't be starting him. But just to have as a bit of depth, which we need, and leadership-wise, I keep him, even though he has been linked back to Italy, which I think would be a shame, because I think it's a bit of like, I'm coming in to get a bit of a paycheck and see you later. But I hope he stays, just because I think he's an all right player. And I know he is getting on, but I don't probably only keep him for one more season. But it's a keep for me. Oh, but a bench. But I'll keep him on the bench.
Yeah, 100%.
Got a bit of a spanner in the works there.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, with Jorginho, I think yes, in terms of leadership, yeah, I can see something. But I just think Arsenal will need more. I know you guys are, declaration stuff, but yeah, I think you need more. We've got comment from our deep seats. Big up to Conor, Ollie, and Orest. Hope you're all are doing well, loving the new content you guys are covering. Per my Arsenal side, you need to keep Jorginho. He is a great technical register and
big up, Hardy, big up.
Good for that. Yeah,
that's bro.
As well as the mentality and leadership he brings. True. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, Jorginho would probably most likely to stay. To be fair.
What did he say? He said Jorginho is a.
No. He resent it. I think.
Right.
Resent it. That's fine. Cool. Moving on to the next one. Vieira. That's TJ Warren's favorite player. So Ollie, what's your thoughts on him?
It's a tough one. I think. Keep again. He's not going to start. Got competition with Odegaard, Partey, and then whoever comes in for Xhaka. So yeah, I don't know. It's similar with Jorginho, where I think we sell him, but I think I'll bench him because if there was a loan option, I would loan him. So I would bench Vieira. I don't think we'll sell him unless he, obviously he came from Portugal, so whether he wants to go back to Portugal or maybe he wants to go to another English team, or maybe European team. But I think I'll bench him. I don't want to sell too many players. I'm not going to change my mind, but I do somewhat agree with Jorginho where, benching him because we're not going to keep him, and benching him, we realistically do need a CDM, so we could keep him for the depth. So just the only reason I said sell is because I thought we could get some money for him and we bring in someone else, but we do kind of need for the depth. So I do get what you're saying with the bench, but it's just an opinion I have that I want to sell him, and I think my dad agrees with me as well. He said that he's selling, but for me, I think Vieira's a bench. Don't see him going. I don't think will go. Arteta will probably keep him, and he's not a keep because he's not going to start. So for me, he'll probably play. I don't know. He probably won't even play in cup games because Smith Rowe will maybe play instead of Odegaard, or he won't be CDM. I mean, he has started in some Premier League games as well, and obviously he scored a screamer against Brentford, and he's played in a few other games. So for me, I think I bench him. I don't want to sell this guy. I want to keep him, but I don't want to keep him like in the keep category. So we'll wait and see. But I think I'd bench him.
Yeah, 100%. Conor, what are you doing with Vieira?
Get him gone. He's trash. I'm sorry. He's so trash, and he is not Premier League he's not a Premier League player in my opinion. We bought him for 35 mil, and this guy was on the bench for Porto. That just says it all, doesn't it? Like in my opinion, and he hasn't shown. I know he hasn't had many games, and I can understand that, but he needs a bulking plan for one. He needs that Goretzka plan because, by God, he gets bullied off the ball. When I see him on the pitch, he just doesn't offer anything. I just don't see it. Maybe loan him, but again, it's another one of those situations that get some money for him while you still can, while his value's sort of still there. He is a young player. Maybe just, I don't know, maybe send him to Wolves. Wolves have a Portuguese player, they do. Maybe send him on loan down to Wolves. But I'm not a fan of him at all. We could do better. I would have loved to have brought in Maddison, but it looks like them lot down the road are going to get him, which is a shame. I saw United linked with him as well, but I'd have loved Maddison with that, either backup or even switching with Odegaard. That would have been fantastic, man. Mm-hmm. But it looks like we're not going to get him. But yeah.
Get who?
Madison, James Maddison.
Oh, Madison.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. For me personally, I'm not a fan of Fabio Vieira whatsoever, and I would sell him. I just would. I'm just not a fan of him, and I know he hasn't had much game time, and maybe you could say it's the sort of same story with maybe Jakub Kiwior, but I don't know what it is with this guy. Whenever I see him on the pitch, he doesn't offer anything. He's a bit like a Sambi Lokonga. He's another young player, but he doesn't offer anything on the pitch. So in my opinion, I look at that and I think, why bother? So he's probably going to stay, maybe even get a loan, and maybe I could probably see him getting loaned out. But if it was my decision, I'd sell him. Get a bit of money while you can.
100%, man, 100%. Yeah, for me with Vieira, I think he's rubbish, man. If I'm being honest, I don't think he's good enough. I don't know. I don't understand why you guys.
Goal against Brentford, and that was it. That's it.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't understand signing. I know a lot of us fans are saying that he's bulk up, but he's not going to bulk up because even if it does, I don't think it's improving there. But you're ultimately not good enough for you guys. But yeah, Oneni, Ollie, what are you doing with Mohamed Oneni?
He's a sell for me, definitely. He needs to go, and I think Conor's probably going to go with me because he's, one of the Wenger players is going to go. Probably going to have no more Wenger players now, because Xhaka's obviously gone. Elneny's going to go. Holding is a sell for me as well. So, yeah, Elneny has to go for me. Yeah, he's a sell. I don't see why we keep him. If we keep him, he's not going to start. He's not going to come off the bench or start in cup games. He is probably he won't even start in cup games as well. So I don't really see why we would keep him. So for me, he's probably going to. Whoa, what are you doing?
Whoa, sorry.
Yeah. So for me, he's a must sell. I think he's going to go anyway. Whether we get him for money, I said I don't want players to go for a free. Free is just all. I agree with loans. That's a free, but you can't get rid of a player for free. You have to get money for them. So obviously, with if you're doing a free, you might as well just do a loan because, they're going for a certain amount of time. If they're going, they're gone forever. So you don't want to get rid of them for free unless obviously they're a crap player or they're giving something in exchange. But for me, he has to go for some money, whether he's not even going to go to a club and retire or whatever. But he probably is going to go somewhere and retire there. He's not going to retire at Arsenal, I don't think. So for me, get rid of him for some money and, yeah, see what happens after. But for me, yeah, sell.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not Mohamed. I don't understand why he started your club, but yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? With Elneny, I can't lie. He's one of them players where you just sort of brought him on in the 90th minute just to sort of solidify your midfield. But sell him 100%. But even that, I think we gave him an extension. I don't even know why. Like he's just there for no reason. Nice guy, nice guy. But maybe take it with a grain of salt. But from what I've heard from a pretty decent source. He is retiring because he's got a academy. He's got his own academy that he's started off. So I think he's probably going to retire and work on that because his son plays for football now. So he's probably going to want to work. I think he's going to want to work with him. So yeah, listen. Cheers for the years. He's been here for So it's come up to maybe 6 years now. I think we signed him in 2016, 2017. So yeah, cheers for all the years. He went on loan a couple of times, once or twice, but now we've got better, and that's just factual.
Yeah, he's got to go, man. He's been at the club for way too long now, so he's got to go. So let's
I'll get rid of the dead wood.
Is that it for midfielders, or is there anyone else?
Yeah, I think that's everyone. Yeah. Now on to the attackers now. Gabriel Jesus, Ollie, what are you doing with him?
Yeah, he's oh my god, a must keep, 100%. Nothing else. He's not a bench because he's our best striker, and he's not a sell. He's not going anywhere. Obviously, this season, he was injured in the World Cup, so he was out for a few months, and so, you know, this is how much I love the player. I had him on the back of my shirt, of my old shirt, so that's how much I love him, and he's a must keep for me. I have no one on the back of my shirt than this year because I don't really want to jinx it because I got him and he got injured for like, 3, 9, I don't know how many months, like 3 months and 8 months. So I don't want to jinx it again with getting him on the back. So I thought I'd just get a normal. And it's a lot of money, so I don't want to waste that. But yeah, Jesus must keep. It was a good signing. Obviously, it was, it was obviously he wasn't really meeting the expectations. He didn't score as much goals as we wanted. He didn't really contribute as much once. And I think we probably, if he was fit for the whole season, we probably would have gone and won the league because we had Nketiah, and yeah, he was all right. But if we would have not had Nketiah, Jesus would have been great. And even if he doesn't score goals, he's good because he does well and he gets assists and stuff like that. And he said he'd rather win the league than get golden boots. That proves that why he doesn't really get many goals, because he doesn't really like getting goals. So yeah, listen, I think he's a must keep. Not going to be benched because we've got no other worse striker. Not sell. So for me, keep Jesus.
Yeah, 100%. Conor, what are you doing with Gabriel Jesus?
Yeah, no, keep him. It's a shame he got injured because I think he definitely offered a lot. The only thing with him is that I just he's not a striker. He's a centre forward or he's a winger. One thing I love about Jesus, that man will track back and press for his life. The work rate this guy puts in is phenomenal, in my opinion. I think if you don't watch Arsenal enough, or if you're an opposition fan, I don't think you see enough of it. He didn't get as many goals as we want him to. Then again, he didn't score that many goals at Man City. I do see him as more of a centre forward role, maybe a winger, and that's why I really want to bring in a striker this summer, because we do, as much as we did have a lot of goal scorers last season, a lot of goals from Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, I do want an out-and-out striker who just scores goals like a Kane, like a Haaland, so that's what I'm looking for this summer, but 100% keep. Like, Jesus is so talented on the ball. He's your classic Brazilian, loves a skill move. Maybe does a bit too much. Maybe you can just take the shot instead of just, messing about a bit, but that's his game. But my God, the man will press and his work rate is fantastic. So, yeah, 100% keep him. But I wouldn't mind an upgrade in the striker position. But that doesn't mean he's bad. He's a fantastic player. But just a goal scorer that can get 20 plus a season, I think that would elevate us massively.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, man. It is for me. Listen, for me, Arsenal is the striker.
100%.
They really do. So for me, listen, they need someone who's reliable. Who can score maybe 20, 25 goals, if possible.
100%.
Maybe I don't know, what is realistically? If I say Vlahovic, I don't know what's your guys' thoughts on that, but maybe that's someone, that's the other thing. But really, Arsenal need a striker, really. Arsenal says most goals Jesus scored in Man City was 14 league goals. Yeah, there you go. Then he's not clinical, man. Really is. So yeah. Cool. Next one is Martinelli. I think both of you would keep him, right?
Yeah.
Ollie, would you keep Martinelli?
I'll keep Martinelli. Yeah, of course. I mean, he's a good player. And I'll keep him.
Yeah, keep.
100%. Now we move on to the next player, Eddie Nketiah. Ollie, what are you doing with him? Same player that's wearing the Henry shirt. Come on.
Oh man, that's a disgrace. But anyway, sorry, Ollie, you go, man.
Conor, you go first. I don't know what.
Get him gone. Get him gone. I'm sorry. Yeah, he done all right when Jesus was out, but I'm sorry. No, he's got to go. We should have sold him when Crystal Palace wanted that 25-30 million. Oh my God. How in God's name? I think they still want him now. Like, how I would do a swap deal. We can't now. He's a free. I don't know why we're not going in for Wilfred Zaha, Orest. I don't know why. He's free. And he's getting linked with PSG. That's how you know he's wanted. You know, I don't know why we're not going in for that guy. But no, Nketiah, I'm sorry. Number 14, you've got to go, mate. You're not wearing that number 14 on my watch. You know, I'm sorry. Nice guy, came from Hale End. Yeah, Arsenal, all that. But no, he's not good enough. And the fact that we're looking to sell Balogun, it's a disgrace, in my opinion. Balogun is, in my opinion, the way better striker than Nketiah. If we walk into next season with Jesus and Nketiah again, I'm not going to be happy. Just on the basis of we can have better than Nketiah. You know, and Jesus needs that striker that can also help him get goals. And Nketiah is not it. Not at all. Like, if you want someone off the bench, that's a striker. It's not Eddie Nketiah. He is not the levels whatsoever. He's got to go. Shouldn't be wearing that. I know it's probably not his fault. He got given the number. The club probably just said, here you go. So I know it's not probably his fault. He didn't probably deny. Maybe he asked for it, I don't know. But he's not it. Yeah, he got a couple goals this season, but he's not what we want to move on as a club, especially now we're going into the Champions League. And if we want to be repeatedly getting top four every season, Eddie Nketiah is not the answer. And straight sell, get some money from while we can, maybe 15, maybe 20 mil. I mean, if Crystal Palace were asking for 25, sell him and keep Balogun. You know, Balogun is proven himself. I know it was only the French league, but he got, what was he? I think did he get more goals than Mbappe? Or was he on level with goals with Mbappe? You know, so in my opinion, that says it all. So yeah, sell Nketiah. I'm not a fan of him whatsoever. No disrespect towards him, nice guy, but you're not Arsenal level for me, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll agree with him as well. He's a sell. We need to, if we do sell him again as well, maybe, as I said, let's forever bring back Balogun and get in another striker. For me, if we bring in another striker, though, either play him with Jesus and change our formation, or, you know, depth for Jesus. But if we bring in a mid forward, then maybe get him for in for the depth. But if we get like a world class striker, either playing with Jesus or for Jesus, because Jesus hasn't really been that good, so we could afford to bench Jesus, and I think he'll be alright with that. But for me, sell Nketiah. As much as I love him, he was great as filling in for Jesus. Obviously, got the late minute goal in the Man United game. Scored a few other goals as well. So he has been good when he stepped in for him. But yeah, for me, he's a keep. So, no, not a keep. Sorry,
Yeah.
Sell. Yeah.
So. Yeah. So for me, I do not get. Well, I do get it, but that new contract, that's because your fan base is saying your defense is in trouble.
Ridiculous. That's another stupid thing. And do you know where that came from? That came from the big Arsenal channel. That's where it came from.
Oh, yeah. Listen, how about this? Your defense is in safe hands. Kids in the room.
I'm not gonna. But you know what? He had that period towards before. I think it was before the World. No, it was after the World Cup, because obviously Jesus got injured during the World Cup. He had that period where he was all right. I think he got the goal against Man United. I think he scored somewhere else. Like, he was getting goals, but he's just not what you need in terms of a backup, if that makes sense, or even as a going in for a starter. You know, so yeah, he's got to go. And it's quite funny, when that song was made, he didn't score a goal since. So yeah, that was a bit of a jinx, that. But yeah, and I'm not completely hating on him, because he is a Hale End fella. You know, he came from the academy, but he's not. Yeah. He's got to go to either a team lower down the Premier League, or maybe a different league. Try it out somewhere else. But
yeah,
not at Arsenal anymore. Yeah, not Arsenal anymore.
No.
Yeah, 100%. Arsenal says Balogun scored about 21 league goals in the French league. Yeah, that's a good one. But it was the French league, Premier League, they're both different leagues. So let's see. I mean, from what I've seen, I think Arteta doesn't want to keep Balogun, which is a bit surprising. But
that's another ridiculous thing again. That's another thing that annoys me with him. But it is what it is. That's Arteta, man.
100%. Ollie, what are you doing with Leandro Trossard?
Did Conor say keep?
Yeah, keep.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll keep as well, 100%. He's come in, and he's been good. Obviously, I don't know. You could possibly say bench because of Martinelli playing instead of him. But I'd say keep because he can play in some. He's played in Premier League games before, and he'll play in all the cup games as well because he'll bench Martinelli and play him. So yeah, Trossard's been good. I don't think he's been impressive as much as scoring like loads of goals and thing, but he only just came in January. So yeah, for me, good signing, good to get him in from Brighton. He was doing well for Brighton. I think he scored like a hat trick against Liverpool, something like that. And he was a good player for them, and that was a big loss. And so maybe they need to bring in someone, a replacement for him. But for me, Trossard's a keep.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And then the last player, I mean, he's signed his new contract. So
he signed his new contract, and
Yeah.
even though he should go, in my opinion. I mean, I know he had that goal against Bournemouth, right? And that's probably the reason why we've actually signed him to a new contract. If I'm gonna keep it real, impact player, he's all right. You know, Reece Nelson, but again, it's another one of the Eddie Nketiah situations, where it's just like, do we really need him? But now he's signed, and it is what it is. So I don't hate him. I think he's one of the more talented ones that have come out of Hale End. But I don't know. But we've got him now anyway, and he's an all right player. I don't get this thing. He posts butterflies on Instagram. That baffles me. I don't get that. That weirds me out. But yeah, he's signed till 2027. So keep. I'll bench him. And to be fair to him, he has come off the bench and made differences. Like when Saka's had a really crap game, which was very rare, but when he did have a crap game towards the end of the season, Reece Nelson actually did come on for the 10-15 minutes and actually put in a decent shift. So I wouldn't have kept him, but it is what it is now. But I'm content with him being there still. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Reece Nelson, he's only signed him because that winning goal.
It literally was that.
Yeah, that's it really. So Reece Nelson, new contract. Let's see next season what he does. But yeah, he's definitely going to play a few games in the preseason. So
yeah, I'll just talk briefly. He's a good player as well. Obviously, we only really seen him briefly. He's come on. He's been a good super sub for us. Scored a goal obviously against Bournemouth, but for me, if he wasn't like signed the contract, I'd probably bench him or sell him. But we have to say keep because he signed the contract. For me, it's time for him to prove himself now. I think he's young still. He's come from the academy. So for me, he's got himself to prove. He'll come on the bench again in the Premier League, maybe start if he's good enough. And then he'll definitely play in the cup game. So we'll see. We can prove us wrong or whatever, but we'll wait and see. But he's a keep, obviously, because he's signed the contract.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And that's, I think, the whole squad complete. Gunnar dusted. Gunnar Xhaka, there's no point. He's gone to Roma, so I didn't even have him in the benefit. Gunnar Xhaka's going to Bayern Leverkusen. So yeah, it's been a good one, man. It's been a good one. Let me check if I've missed any comments. Yeah, big up everyone in the comments. Obviously, Rocco, Hardeep, Ask Forever, Brian as well. Lucas, so big up to you guys. We will wrap here. So Ollie, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, big up Ares having me on, and big up Conor as well. Nice to meet you. Obviously, I think I was in the stream with you before, but kind of more got to know each other in this one because we've talked about Arsenal mainly, and stuff like that. But yeah, big up for having me on Ares. You can catch me on a few other channels. Coach's Corner, big up him. He makes my thumbnails, Hanno. So make sure you check him out. He does all sorts of content, rugby content, football content, cricket content. So you can check him out, Coach's Corner. I haven't been on there for a while, but Villa TV as well. Huddersfield Fan TV, obviously. Ryan, big up yourself. He's in the chat. Well, he was in the chat. He's usually in the comments, and he's supporting my channel a lot. He comes to my channel. Apart from that, I'm obviously here on Arrested Football. Big up Arrest having me on, of course. I am obviously open to go on a few other channels as well. If you let me on, just DM me. I'll shout out my Instagram in a bit, but you can find me on YouTube, DJ Sinclairo. That's all capitals, DJ space SINCLAIRO, which is DJ's kind of, I kind of am a DJ, but I just thought of it. And then Sinclair, my last name, O is my initial. So I kind of like play on words, Sinclairo. And yeah, I've done streams on there. I've been to a few festivals this year. I went to Big Church, all the videos up, a lot of videos out from that. And big Highest Point Festival I went to earlier on. I actually met Ryan. We went there and lots of videos out from that. And I went to Joel Corey gig earlier in the year, videos out from that as well. I'm not really sure any other gigs I'm going to. Hoping to book tickets to see Freya Ridings later on this year. So might see her and upload some more videos because I did see her in Highest Point. So I'll upload videos again of her if I do see her. And maybe another DJ I want to see this year as well. But yeah, got a stream coming up soon. I did say I was going to take a break, but very soon I'm going to do a keep similar to this, but I'm going to do keep loan sell. I've asked Hanno, Coach's Corner, for the thumbnail, and as soon as he sends that over, I'll probably confirm a date. It's going to be a solo stream as well because I could go with Arsenal fans like Manny or Elliot, but Elliot's away and Manny usually isn't available. So I thought I'd do a solo stream for the first time in a while where I'll just go for all the players. It'll probably be a short stream, less than an hour, go for all the players and talk about why I keep or loan or sell. And then yeah, that's where you can find me on YouTube. Go check me out. Make sure you like my videos and subscribe, and obviously watch my videos public watch hours. That mean a lot. And Instagram, Ollie.Sinclair556. Please do message me there if you want to come on my channel, if you want to talk to me about anything, if you want me to come on your channel, of course. So yeah, please go follow me there. I think I'm on the road to 800 followers, and the big aim is 1,000. My old account, which got hacked I think it was last year, I had 1,000 on there, and I want to get that back. So let's try and get that soon. I'm taking a break, but I still shout it out on Instagram, stuff fan page 1. I started a fan page there last year. I think it was sort of May time before. It was kind of near to where Aaron Ramsdale had his birthday. I think that's April, his birthday, or whatever. And I started that because of my old fan page got hacked, and I thought of doing a goalkeeper because I like being a goalkeeper and I like goalkeepers. So I thought I'd do Aaron Ramsdale. And the one was obviously for his because he's number 1, and Aaron Ramsdale, of course, fan page. So yeah, check me out on there. Message me if you want anything to talk about Aaron Ramsdale and stuff. And I will be posting again soon. So yeah, check me out on there. Also on TikTok, Ollie is up at 556. Make sure to check me out on there. I think I'm nearly at 400 or hit 400 recently. And I'm going to try and be more active on there. I've got a new Twitter, DJ Sinclairo, all lowercase. I thought I'd have a social called DJ Sinclairo because I am DJ Sinclairo. So anything else, please do personally DM me. I've said enough now, but big up RS family, and big up Conor, of course, as well. Love to come on the channel, of course. Love to be on the next stream. Love this series you're doing as well. And yeah, as I said, I'll do similar to this, but loan, sell, keep. And it'll be one of my first solo streams in a while. I don't think I've done a solo stream at all. I did used to do DJ streams a while ago, which is kind of solo stream, but I don't think I've ever done a solo stream when I talked about football. So be a solo stream talking about the Arsenal players I want to keep loan and sell. And yeah, big up for us, and big up Conor.
Yeah, man, big up myself, Ollie, and Conor. Do you want to shout out any socials?
Yeah, thanks very much for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure. I think it's my second stream I've come with you, or maybe third. So big up and big up Ollie as well. Nice chatting to you, lads. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram, cmo.editing. It's down there, both my Instas. cmo.editing. I do editing for a number of YouTubers, like Arsenal football YouTubers. You can check me out on there. Done stuff like TJ Warren TV, Jez and the Arsenal History and more. Loads of other channels, Delboy Gunner, loads of other people like that. So feel free to check me out on there if you need any editing for your channels or for any of your social medias. I am happy to work with anyone. And also, you can follow me on my new Arsenal News account on Instagram called proper.arsenal. I've just started up recently, so feel free to add me up on there as well. And yeah, thank you very much for having me on, Oris, man. I really appreciate it. And it's been a fun one today. Let's just hope that Arsenal do the business this summer. But yeah, big up, guys, big up.
Yeah, make up yourself, obviously. Really, really good to have both of you on. Obviously, make sure you guys do follow Ollie on YouTube and obviously Conor on Instagram with his proper the Arsenal where he puts his transfers and all the edits, so go follow him on there as well. Follow Ollie on Instagram as well, and yeah, make sure you have subscribed to Orange Talks Football. And yeah, man, it's been a good one. I think the next one is the Man United version, so Wednesday with Ollie, so that should be interesting. Listen, what I'm going to say is expect at least most of the squad to be out. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I'll probably put age restriction onto that because, yeah, it might get a bit.
Arrest is going to be swearing.
It might be getting a bit tasty because if we get Mason Mount as well, listen. That TJ Warren stream, I think he did a stream last week. I joined him, and I even said to him on his channel, once that Mason Mount reaction comes out, I'm going to edit it and put age restriction because, listen, I do not want kids to see my actual reaction when we do Sam Mason Mount because it will happen very advanced at the minute. So, yeah, make sure you are following us on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram. It's been a good one. Big up to Ollie and Conor for this one. So, yeah. We are out.
Arsenal going to win the league this season.